Hey, welcome back to the Golden Spoon Podcast. I'm McCall.
And I'm Jeremy.
This week, it's a little anxiety-inducing. Wait, I think that's actually what we're talking about.
It
Is anxiety.
I'm anxious to talk about anxiety.
Well, that's kind of fantastic. You ready to get into it? There are a lot of types of anxiety and a lot of things surrounded with anxiety. So, we're about to dive deep. Do you want to, or dig deep with our golden spoons? Do you want to start on how you feel, how it makes you feel, types of anxiety? What would you like to start off with?
Physically, anxiety.
I want to start off with the physical.
Yeah. When I have anxiety, of course, my heart races. My blood pressure, like I can feel it almost like my body heat up a little bit, like a couple of degrees, and kind of like flush to the face.
Right. Well, that was anxiety inducing.
Very. And so, I mean, I know that's like a part of the heart racing thing. Probably just like sending more blood to your body parts and stuff like that. But I get kind of foggy headed, can't think straight, can't organize my thoughts in the way that needs to be done. And if I don't catch myself right in that moment, then that anxiety, or if I don't address the thing that caused that anxiety at that moment, I may be able to calm my anxiety down, but later on that anxiety, even though I'm not around that situation still, I still get anxious thinking back on the thing that made me anxious. And that just like opens up a whole nother realm of anxiety. And if that continues for me, it gets to the point where like my central nervous system like just starts tingling really bad around my cerebellum and then just goes through my entire body. And that tips over into psychosis. It sucks, but I mean, that's how bad my anxiety can get sometimes if I don't get it under control.
Yeah, I have a heart monitor on my watch, and every time
I had to throw mine away.
every time, like I know something causes me anxiety, like say you can't record on the night you usually record on, and your schedule just starts getting messed up, and it's like my sister literally had to tell me to calm down, and my watch was going off and everything, and I was like, I'm trying.
Yeah. That's what bad is when someone else is trying to tell you to calm down when you're already at that point. It makes it way worse. The best thing you can do for someone is to talk them down to the steps.
Just breathe.
Just breathe. You go through your five senses. You look for something that you could see. You think of something that you can touch. Or if there's something around you, you think of that object that you can touch.
His arms are real.
You think of something that you can taste, and you think of something that you could smell, or just actually smelling something. If you sit there and you just break down all your senses, then it calms you from. No, it didn't. You hear something that you could hear.
Calming, reassuring words.
But you can help that person break down those things. Obviously. If their leg's on fire and they're getting anxious about it, put the fire out first and then try to calm them down.
Well, yeah.
But telling them to calm down or be like, just breathe, just calm down, you'll be all right. That's the worst thing you can do for someone with anxiety, because then they start thinking, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta calm down.
Put the fire out first.
Yeah, I gotta try to breathe right. And then they try to start focusing on other things and they get anxious about that. But if you're just like, hey, what does coffee smell like, or something? What does pizza taste like? And you make them focus on just certain things that it's kind of like totally random, almost like
you're diverting their thought.
Yeah.
Away from the anxiety.
Yeah, and the thing that's causing it.
You're literally trying to get their mind to snap out of.
I don't know if you ever done this to people, but whenever you're about to sneeze. Or if you have, I'm yawning. If you have a sneeze coming, and like you kind of got that sneeze face going on, and then like you look at the person and you're like purple cow, pink onion, and it
Purple
diverts
cow usually works really well.
It diverts their mind off of it, and then they don't sneeze and they get mad. They're like, oh man, I really needed to sneeze. It's kind of the same thing. You just gotta, train that person's brain to get away from the anxiety.
So I totally get that. Because it takes their mind off of that thing. So currently, because science is always developing, currently there are seven different types of anxiety disorders. So you have generalized anxiety disorder.
What's up?
Panic disorder.
Okay.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Say what?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Uh-huh.
Social anxiety disorder.
Yep.
Separation anxiety disorder.
Bingo.
And specific phobias.
Wazam. I was running out of things to say. Start from the top and let's break them down.
So your generalized anxiety disorder, people with, they specify it as GAD, experience excessive...
Not to be confused with GED.
Right, GAD.
Yeah.
Right. They experience excessive worry or anxiety about their personal lives and routine circumstances on most days for a 6-month period or longer.
Okay, so I have number 1. Let's see how many of these I have.
I think a majority of people, let's see, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, an estimated 31% of adults in the United States experience an anxiety disorder at some point in their lives.
That means 1 out of 3 people that you're around are in anxiety.
Well, there are 2 right here in this room, and I think we both have some forms of anxiety.
I know that guy's got anxiety. See?
Oh, the purple penguin?
Yeah, see? Just talking about someone else being in the room causes anxiety.
Yeah, I literally cut my eyes open. I was like...
Say what now?
Who? And speaking of, I literally turn my watch off every time I record.
Because of all the anxiety?
Because I'm like, I hope I don't mess up or don't say the wrong thing or things like that.
I think I'm just the opposite. This is the most calm I normally am in a whole week. It's calm,
but I don't want to disappoint everybody listening. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want to be like,
I'm already a disappointment, so...
I mean, same stream, different boat.
Yeah.
I think, we could go on with topics.
About how
we're me personally disappointing. But I love myself. I have self-love, and
it's disappointing how disappointing we are. Continue.
Panic disorder. People with this disorder have recurring and sudden panic attacks that can be brought on by a trigger or completely unexpected.
Okay, so I got number 2 as well.
So something that can trigger you that starts your panic disorder.
Yeah, those suck, man.
Or a panic attack.
Panic attack? I don't wish that on anybody.
No, because it can get...
like when you're a kid and you get like pushed down on the ground, or like you fell out of the swing or off the monkey bars and you landed on your back and you got the wind knocked out of you.
Oh yeah, or
that's pretty much like what a panic attack.
Like when you're running from your sibling down the stairs and you slip and it knocks the complete air out of you, and you're just sitting on the steps like, I can't breathe. I cannot breathe.
And you're pretty sure that's the day you're gonna die. Yeah, that's what a panic attack feels like.
Or when you and your sibling are trying to go to a nice restaurant that your parent told you to come out to, and it's storming, and you're like, are we really going to eat out tonight? And they're like, yeah, come on. And I'm unsure about going out because the winds are just like, 40 miles per hour. And high voltage cable snaps, and it hits right in front of you, like 4 feet from you, and is arcing on the ground, and you can feel it in your shoes. Yeah, that's anxiety inducing. I've had that's a me story. That was terrifying. I could feel the electricity like through the ground, through my shoes, and it was just arcing.
Me would think, look at this opportunity right in front of me.
No.
I'm just kidding.
We don't promote that here. Not promote.
Intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts. We'll get onto that topic soon as well.
Yeah.
Let us know what you like. We really like to know what topics you want to hear from us.
We like talking about the things that you like talking about.
Right.
Because we know that you like hearing about it.
Correct.
It's that plain and simple.
We move on to post-traumatic stress disorder. I think they have renamed this to post-traumatic stress syndrome. I think they have named this to syndrome.
Wow.
I don't know.
Because, like, disorders too bad?
I guess. But I've always known it as PTSD.
Yeah. The old POTS. No. Never mind. I think that's actually a medical condition, POTS.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
So post-traumatic stress disorder. This type of anxiety disorder affects individuals who've experienced some form of traumatic event and continues to feel frightened or stressed by external triggers.
Yeah. I'm not diagnosed with PTSD, but I'm pretty sure I got it. I mean, I'm not saying like one disorder is better than the other, but I think mine trumps PTSD. So mine kind of like PTSD is like a symptom of my disorder.
Right. I
guess I could go.
Being bipolar, you might have a subset of PTSD.
I guess that's not true because there's some people that don't have a trauma that has caused their bipolar. There's some people that just have bipolar because it's genetic and they developed it later on in their 20s. But with mine, I do have traumatic stuff.
Yeah, you had prior traumatic events before you got diagnosed.
Yeah. I just don't like, there's some people who just like want to know, or I guess want to be labeled a bunch and like know exactly what they have. My psychiatrist just pretty much just medicates me for my problems.
Right.
And I don't really care what those problems are. I just know bottom line that I have bipolar 1 and severe depression. So there's a lot of other symptoms that play into that.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that are either underlying or things that have been found out.
Panic attacks, anxiety, depression, mania, psychosis. Like some of those could be individualized for some people, but those are all just symptoms of my disorder.
Yeah, so if you're into season 2 right now, this is we're in season 2, this is episode 4. If you've listened in to season 1, you'll know where some of my undiagnosed anxiety comes from with hoarding and people touching my stuff and the thought of
I haven't been invited back to his house since
you
that
have been
episode.
invited.
I'm just kidding. Ever since we called him out on that episode, I haven't been back over to his house.
You can always come over, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, I know. I was over last night.
What?
I'm just kidding. Was I?
I don't know. I would have been up at still like.
Yeah, you would have saw me looking through your window.
Yeah, because I'm up till like 3 o'clock.
I can't stay up that late to creep somebody out, dude. I gotta get in bed.
You'd probably be creeped out by me just sitting there like.
I'm like, dude, go to bed.
What is he doing? He's still
so
up.
Tired. If you're not going to use that pillow, let me come in. I'll use it.
Hey, you knock on the door. Hey, can I just
take a nap? I've been out here forever.
I've been watching you for 3 hours. Yeah. You've literally like done the most random ass shit. Like
I saw you shave a pumpkin. Why did you have to shave a pumpkin?
Why are you trying to sharpen your knives? Like what are you doing?
Yeah. Why do you need to use that many knives?
We move on to another one. Another disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as the abbreviated term of
OCD.
correct, is a chronic disorder in which a person has recurring thoughts or obsessions or behaviors, compulsions, that he or she feels the urge to repeat over and over again. And there are many subsets of OCD and things that people have to do over and over again.
And it's not just like repetitive.
And it's not just like being tidy and clean.
Or turning the knob 3 times or organizing stuff. Not all OCD are that. Like I know people that have OCD that are fixated on like fixing people or whatever. Like they obsess about getting something done. Like it don't have to be just organizing or repeating the same thing over and over again. It can be like they just obsess about, the job situation they're in, and it gets to the point where it's unhealthy and it's affecting their daily life, and then they can't focus on it and everything. So they have to have a little bit of medicine to, keep their brain, their chemicals intact so they can focus on what needs to be done so they can actually get that job done rather than just obsessing about it.
Right. And some OCDs aren't like caustic to the health. It's just like kind of their idiosyncrasy that they do those things. Like I don't think I have a compulsion disorder. I think like on me, I usually have my keys in a certain spot and my phone in a certain pocket. And I hook my keys onto a certain belt loop, and my wallet is in one pocket.
That's just
and the way I put on my socks and shoes is.
Yeah, that's probably obsessive.
I think that caused you anxiety.
That's more just like structured or just routined.
Yeah, I think I'm routined in that way.
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't carry my wallet in my back pocket because it's because I don't want it to affect my sciatic nerve.
Right.
But then it's just a routine. Like I don't do it. Like I keep my wallet in a certain spot, and that's where it stays. And like you said, my keys on the other hand go in my right back pocket. My phone goes in my left. I mean, it's not something that I obsess about.
It's just there. Yeah. I use
it's like keyboard, like the keys on a keyboard. You know where they're at by memory and feel. You don't have to look down when you're typing.
Right. That's not like a compulsion that I have to do those things.
If I reach in my pocket and my phone's not in my left pocket, I'm not going to freak out and punch somebody in the face. I'll just be like, oh, it might be in the other pocket.
And you'll apologize to Jerry for punching me.
Yeah. I apologize. Thought you took my phone.
Poor Jerry. Next, we have social anxiety disorder. People with this disorder have a fear of social situations.
Sure.
And worry that their social interactions will be judged by others and lead to embarrassment.
See, I think I'm developing that one.
You're developing like that?
Oh, no. That I think I've always had. Even though I don't show it that much or show that I really give a flip, I am always afraid of what someone's going to think of me, especially in a large crowd. But here lately, over the course of a few years, I don't like going in big crowds.
Your brain needs that oxygen.
Yeah, I know, I'm yawning. I don't like going in big crowds because I get really anxious. Not that someone might pull a gun out or something, or somebody might snatch my kid up or whatever. It's really just there's too much going on.
Right.
I like to be able to read somebody, and I like to be able to relate.
So at the restaurant, when I made eye contact with you, and it had been a while, you were at a point you were like,
yeah. I looked fine, and I was joking, and I was eating chips and salsa.
Yeah, but the food had not gotten there, and you were
conversating with people and everything seemed fine, but inside I was dying. I was crippling.
I looked at you, and you were like,
I was dying.
You're like, it's taking too long, and you were just your eyes were scanning back and forth.
It's because there's a lot happening.
Yeah, at the restaurant, there was a lot going on. You were like, I have this thing. There were over 30 people there.
I found out.
Group. I believe. I think there were 30 people.
There's 4 tables.
Oh yeah, there were at least 4 tables,
or more.
You had the tables behind us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I do this thing called mirroring. And I found out later in life that it's actually a coping mechanism. But I like to mirror the other person when I'm talking to them. And because everyone's always like, oh, man, you're such a good person to get along with. And I'm like, well, it's because you're just literally talking to yourself.
Right.
And it's nothing I do. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's just something I've developed over the years, pretty much my whole entire life. And because I feel more comfortable around someone when I can mirror their vibe or mirror their energy that they're putting off and in what they're talking about. So when you put me in a room full of 30 people and I'm trying to talk to someone and mirror what's going on, my brain is all over the place, like looking at other people, trying to read their, energy, trying to see what, attitude or whatever.
Yeah, because when you have the mass amount of 30 people, it's going to be hard for you to mirror.
Mm-hmm.
10,
oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't
5,
do that. Yeah.
3 even. You can't mirror 3 people in your,
At least with 3 people, though, you can kind of feel everybody's, not energy. I hate trying to like use that word like I'm a, palm reader or something, but nothing against palm readers. You are cool. What type of,
just how
I hate that I lose words just like that. Not personality.
The social situation at hand.
Like they're feeling that they're in. Like they came into that
their
party.
Emotion.
There you go.
Yeah.
I try to read everybody's emotion so I can try to match it. So I don't feel like anyone's ever singled out or like I'm leaving someone out. Even if I'm talking to someone individually, I can look over that person's shoulder and be like, okay, well, they're not going through a good time right now. I can tell that. So I don't need to get too excited so it doesn't make them feel like they're left out. But like I said, I can do that with like 5, maybe, like you said, 10 people is pushing it. But when you get past that, especially people I don't know, total strangers I hadn't met yet or hadn't had time to introduce myself to, yeah, that anxiety just starts going. And that's normally when I pull away. I go to a corner.
At that point, I don't think you could have gone to a corner.
Nope. I was in the middle of a restaurant.
You were literally
in the middle of the table.
Yeah, you were at the middle.
Yeah, there's a table behind me, people all in front of me, nowhere to go. I was just there to my own devices and chips and salsa.
Thank God we had chips and salsa.
I love chips and salsa.
And queso.
Queso, yeah. That was gone, though, at that point. My anxiety sucked up all that queso.
Next, we have separation anxiety disorder. Most common in young children, but sometimes also diagnosed in teens and adults. Separation anxiety is the fear of being away from home or loved ones. It typically occurs at a developmental age and causes the person to avoid being alone.
I remember I had that when I was young. 6th grade.
I don't think I have ever had separation anxiety. But I know people who have had separation anxiety. And it's, what the diagnosis is, like they didn't want to be away from a person or people. Like they always wanted to be in a crowd because if they were alone, that anxiety is kind of like a big ball, of just all these emotions agitating around in your brain, and it starts to kind of get tangled, and it's just being agitated.
It's like electricity.
Kind of.
It's like a ball of electricity that continues to grow until it zaps you.
Well, that kind of. I mean, it is intense, and that.
If you're having anxiety right now, listening to this,
I apologize.
Just take a pause, and listen to the rest in about 5 or 6 minutes.
The last one is specific phobias. An intense fear, aversion to, or anxiety about a certain object or situation, such as heights, flying, spiders, snakes, strangers, injections, or blood. Social anxiety disorder is also an example of a specific phobia. So, one of the other anxiety disorders is a specific phobia.
So there's an anxiety disorder about an anxiety disorder?
Correct.
Dang.
So, when I was reading that list, I have had heights, flying, injections, and blood. All those are just...
The deep sea.
That's my sister.
Oh.
I love the ocean.
Oh, okay.
Narwhals, man.
I'm trying to think of something. I know someone who have the fear of holes, like grouped together, like a honeycomb.
Oh, what is that called?
Yeah, but they do get anxiety about it.
Yeah, because of the pattern. It's about the pattern, the way the patterns are.
Oh yeah, it's an actual phobia.
Yeah, it is.
I don't really have a phobia, I don't think, but I just don't like the way cotton balls feel. That makes me anxious. Like when you rub a cotton ball and it kind of squeaks. That little squeaking feel. If I do that between my fingers, oh man, it makes my neck cramp. I'm like when I'm thinking about it, it's too much. So that's why I don't touch cotton balls.
Trypophobia.
Yep, that's it.
It is the aversion or repulsion to objects like honeycombs and sponges that have repetitive patterns or clusters of small holes.
Mm-hmm.
I knew somebody who had that. But yeah, I used to hate just heights and roller coasters and things like that. Love roller coasters now. I've been able to get over that, and heights and stuff like that somewhat. Working on a climbing tower is a little different when I'm harnessed in and looking down over the edge. Flying is I've only been on one flight ever, so
yeah, that
was very terrifying, and I didn't have any of my family with me, so it was just me by myself, and I was like, boy, this is going to be real fun for old McCall here on this flight with nobody around that I know.
Nobody but strangers going to listen to me scream the whole entire flight.
Thank God I didn't scream. I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my...
I'm really trying to find something that really gets me, that I'm like afraid of. Like that like makes me anxious at least.
So
probably like if I was scuba diving and I was a good like 100 feet down and someone cut the tube, I feel like that would give me anxiety.
Yeah, because it'd be... Yeah, that's like a... Yeah, that's a real anxiety inducing.
Either that or getting trapped in a cave. Not like in a cave. I'm not scared of that.
You're talking about spelunking.
Yeah, I'm talking about like going in a really small hole.
Yeah, that's claustrophobia.
Yeah. Well, I'm not claustrophobic though. Like I don't mind.
This is the thought of... Because
I was in the coal mines for like 10 years. So it didn't bother me at all. But
you're talking about spelunking,
yeah,
and
I knew that one story.
It only being small holes that you're going through. Yeah,
that one guy that got trapped, and because he got like tried to go through or whatever to like go into a bigger cave or something, and he got wedged in there, and they tried to rescue him for like a month or whatever. I don't know how long it was, but they never could get him out, and they ended up sealing the front of the cave, and his
that's his grave.
stood. Yeah, that would be scary.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially, so like me, I usually don't put myself through that because of my size.
I don't put myself in small areas for a reason.
Because I'm pretty large. Like I don't. Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
So what are the typical symptoms of anxiety? So you have emotional symptoms: irritability, crying, overwhelm, anger or general upset, and really bad one is suicidal thoughts, because people with anxiety have
we maybe won't go there.
We can go there later. I mean, if you want to brush on it.
I mean, that's something that's definitely. I mean, I would probably feel like anger and frustration is where a lot of my anxiety goes to. I don't really just like break down and start crying. I mean, I have before. I've had to call on some people in the middle of some breakdowns.
So those are emotional symptoms.
Yeah, but suicidal thoughts.
See, I'm usually somewhat irritable or overwhelmed.
Would suicidal thoughts and suicidal ideations be the same when it came to anxiety?
I would have to.
I would think the suicidal thought, like they're talking about, is like you're so anxious, like you just want to just be done with it.
Right, you just wanted to.
And then the suicidal ideations is just the fact of having them on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have suicidal thoughts when I get anxious. I just have suicidal ideations.
So we'll also touch on that later because that's
that'll be another episode.
Right. So
how to deal with suicidal ideations.
Correct. Because we don't want anybody to go.
No, that's the whole reason of this podcast.
Correct.
We want you to stay around for the next episode.
We want you to stay around for the people that love you. And
yep. If I'm coming back and speaking in this mic for the next episode, then you need to be there listening on the other end.
You're damn correct about that. So you have physical symptoms as well, and these are where I know
diarrhea.
No. I haven't read the list yet.
Oh, but I bet you it's on there.
Well, let me read.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So this is where I usually know that things are picking up, and so you have chest pain, rapid heart palpitations, muscle tension, sweating and nausea, fatigue, headaches, teeth grinding, itching, and rashes triggered by histamine.
Yeah. That's when you take antihistamines.
Correct. There's no diarrhea on the list. Thank God, Jeremy.
Nausea. Maybe that's just B that gets lower cramps and then like runs to the bathroom and poops. Maybe I'm just getting anxious about having lower abdominal cramps. And then like I go and...
It just helps.
Yeah, I guess. I do grind my... When you're sitting there reading those, I was thinking some of the ones I do, but I do grind my teeth.
Yeah, I have this...
Not really grind. I go like this.
I have this tooth click that I can do.
I'll just like squeeze my teeth together, you know?
No, I have a tooth click that I can... And like... That's some ASMR for everybody. That's your little treat for tonight. Chest pains and rapid heart palpitations are usually my thing that I know I'm like.
What was the next one after that?
Muscle tension.
Oh, yeah.
Sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Sweating is, yeah.
Especially sweaty palms.
You get the sweaty palms.
Mm-hmm. It's gross, I know.
But your body's literally letting you know. Your body is really cool. Your body's letting you know, hey, something is different than what was 5 minutes ago. We are now in a situation where things are not right, so we need to change. We need to change whatever is going on right now.
Remove yourself.
Hey, we talk about that in episode 7, season 1. Environmental awareness.
If it's like your body's like sweating a little bit and it wants you to remove yourself before it starts making you nauseous. And once it makes you nauseous, you start having a heart attack.
No.
With the chest pains. Like your body's
some people are more likely to have heart attacks with anxiety because of the chest pains, but like you also have behavioral symptoms. So you have withdrawals, difficulty sleeping, irrational thinking. This is a topic we just priorly touched on. I didn't know this is a behavioral symptom of anxiety, but domestic violence.
Dang.
Drinking
that
alcohol.
Went south quick.
Yeah. Drinking alcohol or upset with other behaviors.
Yep. The old alcohol.
So,
that helps
some
with
people
anxiety,
who have,
but I don't recommend it.
yeah, because you've recovered,
Yeah.
which is fantastic.
I'm just telling people out there, I said alcohol does help with anxiety, but I don't recommend anybody using it for anxiety.
So, those are the types of anxieties and some of the symptoms and ways you can tell that, you might have.
That was very informative.
I know. I loved it.
I felt like that was really good, actually. I was anxious about talking about this.
And now you're
And now I'm not. I'm coming out of this well equipped.
I am too.
On how to handle my anxiety now.
So I have
I know
specific phobias. I know is one of my big ones.
How I'm educated of how I would like the reasons I was doing what I was doing.
Well, dang, anxiety triggered that.
Yeah.
Thanks, anxiety.
Boom.
Get out.
We fixed our anxiety about this episode.
No, I don't know
reading
about
anxiety.
I don't know about that.
You're still anxious about this episode?
No, I'm
Oh.
anxious about the outside world.
Oh, yeah. I'm anxious about the air. I'm going to live in a bubble.
No, don't. That means I don't know how this would work.
Be bubble boy.
Oh my Lord.
All right, y'all. It's about that time.
I know you love us and you want us to stay, but thank you for listening in.
We all got to go to bed.
Or you got to wake up.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's true.
Hold on. Never mind.
Oh, wait. Yeah, if you're listening to this in your dream, then that is cool. What's up?
Thank you for listening to the Golden Spoon Podcast. I am McCall.
I'm Jeremy.
And we'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks.